Version 3.2 is shaping up to be one of the biggest updates yet, and there's a lot to talk about. From triple banners to massive anniversary rewards, reworked systems, and even new locations, there's a ton of exciting content coming our way. So let's break everything down. What's new? What's changing? And what it all means for players. By the way, this video also includes a giveaway of 5 supply passes. To participate, just leave a comment and I'll choose 5 winners after 1 week. Another giveaway will be held at 25,000 subscribers, so make sure to subscribe. If you want to save up to 23% on the current banners, visit lootbar.gg. Here, I can buy 3,280 Oneiric shards for $40, while it costs $50 in-game. I just enter my UID and select a server. Since every top-up goes through the in-game channel, I received double the Oneiric shards for my first purchase and saved $10. And this discount also applies to PlayStation 5 and Xbox. Besides Honkai, you can also top up in Genshin, and Lootbar has over 50,000 satisfied users. I regularly use Lootbar for my giveaways, so I can personally recommend it. Use my link in the description for an additional 8% discount. One of the biggest surprises in version 3.2 is the return of triple banners in the first phase. This time, we're looking at Jiao Qiu, Fugue, and Acheron all running at the same time, along with Castorise, a brand new 5-star character. But let's talk about Castorise, because she's easily the most anticipated character in this update. Being the anniversary character, there's already a ton of hype surrounding her, and she recently received significant buffs in the beta, which only makes her even more appealing. I'll go into detail about those buffs in another video, but for now, just know that if you've been waiting for a top-tier unit, Castorise is definitely looking like one of the best picks. As for the 4-star characters, Pila, Lynx, and Gallagher will be featured in this phase, which means we're getting a solid mix of utility and sustain. The most interesting addition here is Gallagher, because he's actually the best support for Castorise. His kit synergizes extremely well with her, so it makes perfect sense that he's being featured alongside her in the banners. If you're planning to build Castorise, grabbing a few copies of Gallagher could be a great investment. Moving into the second phase, we're looking at Anaxa and Dr. Ratio as the featured 5-star characters. Dr. Ratio's return isn't much of a surprise since he was originally given out for free, but this marks the first time players can actually pull for him. If you missed out on his initial release, this is your chance to add him to your roster. For the 4-star lineup, we've got Dan Heng, Serval, and Mose. With Honkai Star Rail's 2nd anniversary coming up, the rewards are looking pretty generous. First off, we're getting a 2x bonus reset for Oneiric shard top-ups, so if you've already used your first-time bonus, you'll be able to get it again. On top of that, there will be special discounts on Oneiric shards in-game, meaning even better rates for those looking to top up during the anniversary. And if you're using Lootbar, you can save an additional 23% on top of the in-game discount, making it the best time to stock up. If you're planning to recharge, make sure to check it out. You'll be able to get way more value than usual. Now, let's talk about the spending bonus coming in version 3.2. We're getting a new special currency that can be exchanged for extra rewards, and while we don't have full details yet, it's safe to assume that it'll include things like additional pulls, exclusive bundles, or even limited-time items. Honestly, it's pretty obvious what HoYoverse is doing here. The anniversary is one of the biggest spending periods in any gacha game, and they definitely want to encourage players to spend. Between the 2x bonus reset, the in-game discounts on Oneiric shards, and now a completely new currency tied to spending, they're pulling out every trick in the book to get people to recharge. And I can't really complain if they actually make it worth it. At the end of the day, it all depends on the exchange rates and what's actually in the shop. If they make it generous enough, then it's not a bad idea to take advantage of all the stacked discounts. But if it's overpriced or locked behind unreasonable spending requirements, then it's just another way to push whales to spend more. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out. Now, on to the free pulls. The game will be handing out 20 free pulls from a login event and 1,600 Stellar Jades via in-game mail, which, when you add up all the sources, brings the total to around 110 free pulls throughout version 3.2. That's more than enough to secure a guaranteed 5-star if you've been saving. Version 3.2 is bringing one of the most player-friendly changes to the game so far, a reworked 50-50 system. Players who lose a 50-50 will now have the option to customize their fallback choices, which means you won't be stuck gambling for whatever random limited character comes next. Some of the older limited 5-star characters like Blade, Jingyuan, and Silverwolf might also be added to this system, giving players more options when it comes to pity recovery. If this works the way it's being described, it could make pulling in Star Rail way more forgiving than it has been so far. And speaking of character acquisition, another huge addition is the 5-star exchange shop. This system will allow players to trade duplicate 5-star characters for a 5-star of their choice. The exchange rate is set at 2 duplicate 5-stars for 1 new 5-star, which isn't the most generous system, but at least it offers a way to get rid of unwanted duplicates. There's also a separate exchange system for light cones, though this one requires 4 exchange items for a single 5-star light cone, making it a bit more costly. One thing that's been getting a lot of attention is the new Gacha Animation system, which will bring unique pull animations similar to Wuthering Waves. This means that instead of the standard light trail effect, we'll likely see different visuals depending on whether you're pulling a 4-star, 5-star, or even a new character. Aside from that, the anniversary celebrations will include some extra freebies, like a Honkai Star Rail art book giveaway, which should be great for anyone who loves high-quality game artwork. There will also be additional small gifts throughout the event, though details on these are still unclear. Interestingly, a lot of these new systems, like the shop rework, discounts, seem to be inspired by Honkai Impact 3rd, which makes them a lot more believable. If MiHoYo is following the same approach as their previous games, we might see even more quality-of-life improvements in future patches. On top of all these system changes, we're also getting some new locations, though specifics haven't been revealed yet. What we do know is that a new boss named Pollux will be making an appearance, and considering the recent difficulty spikes with endgame content, there's a good chance this one will be tough. Also, don't forget that a free pet and a free light cone will be given out just for participating in the main event of 3.2, so even if you're not planning to spend, there's still plenty to gain. There's a lot happening in 3.2, and it really feels like MiHoYo is making an effort to reward players for sticking with the game. Between the improved pity system, the 5-star exchange shop, and the anniversary rewards, this update is shaping up to be one of the most player-friendly patches we've had so far. But what do you think? Are you pulling for Acheron, Fugue, or one of the new characters? And how do you feel about the 50-50 changes? Do they actually make the game better, or is it still not enough? Let me know in the comments. Save up to 23% on the current banners at lootbar.gg. All you need is your UID and server. The link is in the description.